Do we even
Alright.
do the people even know who's on the teams? Team Work in Progress is Sayonara, Yoshimi, and Chiskia. Team Japan is Kazu, Zin, and Tsukisuki.
Yep.
And they're all sick at the game and really impressive players, and they're gonna do great. That's my
Heck yeah.
summary.
Alright, now we sit in suspense as
Yeah.
the great boss of modern Tetris readies up.
Okay, here we go.
And just to let you guys know, you can pick 10, 15, or 20 for these score attack matches.
Alright.
All right, that's good to know. You know, it might make a lot of sense if Kazu's not as familiar with the gravity, right? Maybe pick 10 if you're confident in the pattern stack.
And Yoshi instantly goes to 20, the score attack classic. Not classic score attack.
Yeah, those
Very
are indeed different. Yeah. And yeah, Kazu's starting off already with a nice ST, as is Yoshimi. And Yoshimi also with maybe a little more comfortable with the gravity, given the sort of amount already built upwards here.
Very interesting. I have not seen the Kazu ST before.
Yeah, and I mean, the good news for Kazu is like, you know, if you don't go super fast, it's not the worst thing out there. Like, you still have those 2 minutes to catch up at the end, but yeah, let's see how good this ST stack is.
All right. So right away we can. It's like Yoshimi had to do a bit of a reset there. Put 2 T pieces on the left side. That's you need to do that sometimes when you ST stack in order to kind of maintain a balanced board height. However, Yoshimi's in a bit of a tough spot right now, but actually it's
a little awkward, so might have to like skim eventually, but I think there might at least be still a couple more ST iterations. And Kazu, by the way, looks like to have given up potentially on the ST stack and going to skim some singles here. It looks like, yeah, it's difficult to work with this gravity, which I can definitely empathize with because, I don't know, pieces falling down instantly is not like your dream setup.
Yeah. I know Kazu would really rather just move the pieces everywhere and get into that nice LT.
And yeah, it looks like Kazu kind of like fixing up the stack where Yoshi's still a little scuffed and gonna take the lead actually, although Kazu was down a little bit. Now, you know, making up like a difference in like 100,000 even. Which is really impressive.
Yeah, very impressive by Kazu.
But, you know, this is by no means over. We still have a lot of speed 20 ahead of us, and it is by no means easy to keep a clean stack throughout that. So, Yoshimi definitely with the opportunity to catch back up. I'm not worried at all. Especially knowing how good Yoshimi is. You know, did you know I take credit for their success?
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if you heard. You know, Yoshimi participated in Jaws back when that existed.
Really?
Which I ran.
That's
yeah,
cool.
I know. Fun fact. So, you know, all me. You know, definitely my coaching. Definitely, like, Yoshimi definitely isn't, like, way better than I could ever be, you know. No. All me, baby.
Yeah, but, I did not know that at all. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's like the fun fact I like to throw out whenever I see Yoshimi play.
That's really cool to see her kind of shine in TEC here.
I know. I feel like everyone from that era has gotten so good. Like, I know Raiko was in there. Ors as well. Ors has done a lot for the scene. I don't know. There's like a big list of people. I don't know. So, you know, I just get to take credit for other people's achievements, and that's really where you want to be in life, you know.
Absolutely.
But yeah, meanwhile, Kazu's really just keeping this clean ST stack. Like, I'm very impressed. I didn't know whether Kazu had this up the sleeve, but clearly Kazu does. Yeah.
Kazu has been doing research.
Yeah, and I love these little LJ combinations to kind of keep the stack going, where I think it might sacrifice like a tiny bit of efficiency in some parts, but it can also like prevent the need to have a second eye in the like ST stack. So it's like a little stylistic thing that I don't think would make a huge difference, but you know, I'm a fan. I like seeing a little bit of variety.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like Yoshimi has transitioned into level 21, so the speed is actually going to increase. Like, you might be wondering how we could possibly increase the speed from instant gravity. But the gravity is actually is getting faster little by little. It's going to start chipping at the line clear delay. So, like, the amount of time it takes for a line to clear.
Also the lock delay, right? Which is like,
that'll happen, I think, around level 24. It'll actually start taking away your lock delay. So you'll get less time to actually place your piece.
To like, that's where it gets really bad, and why there's like a hard limit essentially to this mode is because eventually you just don't have the time to place pieces.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
that's
no good.
Back and forth.
Yeah. I have to say though, I'm very impressed with Kazu's performance so far already. With already almost 1.6 mil on level 23 here. Is, I think, pretty good pace. I'm not a score attack expert, but you know, I don't think this is half bad.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Yoshimi's actually found a way to find a clean ST stack again.
Yeah, I'm impressed, but I'm a little worried with like how this lock delay is going to affect, because now is when the lock delay really starts mounting, right? And there's still a big lead to overcome, like 200,000 points. I will say though, the upside for Yoshimi is Kazu no longer really doing a ton of like super clean ST stacking. So
Yoshimi does like what they have. Uh-oh.
Kazu's board a little scary, and Yoshimi looking to equalize here. Only a couple lines away now.
There it is. That's the lead taken back by Yoshimi.
Yeah, and swinging right back.
I'll say Yoshimi does have the advantage with mastery levels like this, with this high gravity. She does have, actually, I believe, with 303 lines, you have to end on like the highest speed possible in master mode with a Tetris, which
that is very impressive.
Insane.
I will say, one upside for Kazu, perhaps. Oh, never mind. All those pieces came in a flash, and Yoshimi with the game 1 win.
There it is.
Yeah, it looks like that extra little bit of like mastery knowledge is very helpful. Ooh. And Kazu also gonna pick level 20, saying, "Let's run it back. I'm not afraid of you." And yeah, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that, given that it looks like Yoshimi's a little more knowledgeable in the arts of the dark arts of high gravity. But you know, we'll have to see what Kazu can bring to the table.
Oh.
Ooh, what is this setup? This is spicy.
And Kazu tried to get an ST opening in, but ended up with a mistake. So, very clever response there, I will say.
And yeah, Kazu does manage to keep it clean, which, you know, important for this, because if you don't keep it clean, it's like, I don't know, it feels like you almost have no hope, you know?
Yeah, you really don't want to like lose composure in score attack, because you will lose a lead fast.
Yes. But both of them keeping it pretty even, pretty respectable. And I think the win condition for Kazu, it looks like, with sort of the less expertise in the high gravity situation, is just going to be to keep it even more clean leading up to that.
Certainly.
And right now, I think the stack a little awkward for Kazu, but looking to clean it up here and probably start again.
I'll say Yoshimi, she does have a little bit of a rough board as well, but
yes,
opting it down stack, which respectable.
Totally fair, yeah. Like, gonna have to get down eventually, right? And it looks like Yoshimi might even be entirely clean after like maybe a little skim. Gonna opt for the T-spin first, but can't even count to 4 here, make this a Tetris, and then open the Tetris well. So excellent fix there. And keeping a lead already over Kazu, which Yeah, I don't know if Kazu's gonna be able to what's it called? Sort of deal
Make
with
a comeback.
this type of pressure. Yeah, make a comeback.
Oh, but there's the remnants of an ST stack. Kazu can be going for. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Kazu gonna take the lead with fewer lines cleared, which is a good look. But after thinking about the sort of the ability to kind of clear lines in the high gravity, like Kazu's definitely not out of the woodwork yet. There's still a lot more work to be done here.
Definitely. I think Yoshimi wants to make a donation with the J piece, but unfortunately not able to make it.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
too rough.
Donations are really tough, and yeah, especially with this like extra limiting factor, right? Like seeing a donation's hard enough, and then just executing it under this like both pressure and like gravity is just like it's a tough task.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, both players just looking really clean right now with their ST stacks.
Here we go. Yoshimi back in the groove.
Yup. As it should be, you know? Yeah, this is just, you know, it's very back and forth right now. Like, it's definitely hard to say. I mean, Kazu has a lot more points, right? But it's hard to say whether that'll really translate to an advantage, right? It'll all come down to the sort of long term. And yeah, Kazu does just kind of have a 9-0 stack now, which isn't terrible. Can probably convert this into some sort of like extra T-spins, which is good. Gonna want to get as many of those out as you can, of course. Yoshimi building so high, it's freaking me out a little bit.
Yeah, that's a score attack classic.
I know, that really is the score attack classic, where it looks so scary, but the players have such good mastery over that height. What I'm worried about is if she's still this high when the lock delay really starts to kick in, because now level 21 already, and if you're that high, right, like one misdrop at the top can seal the deal, and that's when playing up that high is really scary.
That's all about keeping your composure. You can't really drop it, or else you're most likely going to misdrop like 2 or 3 pieces, and especially with gravity that we can see come out of this mode, you definitely don't want to lose that.
Yeah. All right, Kazu is up 100k right now, but Yoshimi does have, I'd say, maybe a better looking ST stack. It's pretty close between the two players, but again, that high gravity like mastering is gonna definitely come into play, and I think this is where we'll either see Kazu sort of hold the nerve and stay clean, or crumble a little bit under the unfamiliarity of the gravity. So we'll have to see here what'll happen. Ooh, what does Kazu see? Oh, interesting. Gonna just skim through. Makes a lot of sense, you know, you don't want to go too risky at this point, especially with a lead. But I don't know if that lead is something to be relied on, as it, I don't want to say crumbles, but it's looking really, really close.
Yeah, a lead of like even like 100,000 is not really too much to hold on to.
Yeah, like you can definitely overcome that if you're Yoshimi. So yeah, here it all comes down to what Kazu can get done in the zone. Or in the zone. Dang. Yeah. Too much zone battle.
I mean, we can say that both these players can be in the zone.
That's true. You know.
Might be losing a little bit
right
now.
Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a level 28 for Yoshimi.
This is where it starts to get really difficult. So let's see what she can eke out here.
Kind of a breaking point for a lot of players, even some of the best. Level 29. This is kind of the kill screen.
This is really difficult. Yeah, it is kind of the kill screen. Oh, it looks like it might be over for Yoshimi.
Oh no!
Doing a good job to survive though.
Back here. Oh, trying to get to there.
All right, and
Wanna see
Kazu
level
gonna top
31?
out
There's level 31. 20,000 points to
21k
go.
points.
Oh, can't make it
Oh,
up.
so close! But
Oh, my
Kazu
goodness.
able to tie up the score.
What
This
a turn
is
of events.
literally so close together. It all comes down to this
That was a
final
3-1.
match. I know, that was insanely how close that was. That was incredible. Yeah, I guess all that remains is for game 3 to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think this could go either way.
Yeah, I don't really know at this point. Like, Kazu has definitely surprised me.
Yeah, I'm
Very
really
pleasant.
impressed with the sort of ability to keep up the ST stack. I didn't know if that sort of pattern stacking was in Kazu's repertoire, but looks like it is, and looks like it's not half bad.
I mean, they can learn LST. Like, ST isn't too far off.
That's true. It is pretty similar. All right, looks like they're both getting into the groove here.
Yoshimi finding the ST stack again. Sure, a little bit of a mishap at the start.
It looks like Kazu might be sort of moving away from that ST and going to the LST, which, you know, might be a little more comfortable territory for Kazu. Never mind. Going right back to ST, as I say it. You got me, Kazu. You got me. You win. Yeah, this is spicy stuff. Ooh, Kazu with that little misdrop on the S piece. That is definitely one awkward thing about score attack is you have to spin the S piece 8 times for it to go into the right place. Of course, that's not actually true, but it feels like 8 times.
Yeah, when you're trying to get that like Z piece over with that ST stack, you have to do like counterclockwise 3 times, and it can be a bit of an awkward kind of movement for some players, which is very understandable.
Yeah,
you don't
I
really
mean,
rotate things 3 times.
Yeah, especially with finesse, right? Like the whole point of that is learn to do things so you only have to rotate something once. So I can definitely see it being like a big barrier for a lot of talented players.
I will say I apologize to Sayonara, who is on Team Work in Progress.
What for?
They do triple rotate, which is
Oh
very
no.
interesting.
Well, I'm glad you clarified. That explains a lot, you know?
Wow.
Triple rotating is really just dealing with the devil if you think about it, you know?
I mean, they make it work.
I was gonna say, it might not be
it's
advisable, but you get other benefits, you know? And that's the, you know, that's the upside. You know, I can see where they're coming from.
Yeah, for sure.
And Kazu's starting to sort of find a clean ST stack, but Yoshimi already with like a pretty impressive 150k point lead. And does have that little endgame boost as well. So I think this is going to be difficult for Kazu to overcome. We'll have to see what he can pull out of his magical Kazuian hat, but that T misdrop doesn't seem to be helpful. Good cleanup, but it's just, you know, every little bit of inefficiency kind of piles up in this mode. And Kazu with a little bit of an awkward stack here as well, a little hole. And probably going to have to cancel out of ST after this as a result. Yeah, this is looking really good for Yoshimi.
Yeah, certainly. Getting that STSD, mad respect.
Yeah.
She knows what I like.
STSDs are so sick.
You should have
I'd say
seen.
there's better
Should have seen my
setups,
early days of score attack. Like, I would always STSD.
I mean, it
It's
makes sense, right? Like, it's very efficient. It's really hard to keep up for a long period of time.
Oh, that long T-spin triple, which is actually T-spin double.
Yeah.
That's from Yoshimi.
It is kind of weird how an STSD is really just like budget TST. But it is pretty sick nonetheless.
Absolutely.
Alright, and Kazu is starting to make up the difference a little bit. Definitely like doing his best to sort of keep up and staying very efficient. So it's a good look, but it's still a mountain to overcome.
Certainly. This is actually a fairly close game.
I know, it's crazy. And here Kazu with the first lead of the game, it feels like. I don't know, might have been a slight lead at the very beginning, but... This is, I don't know, it's so back and forth. It's so hard to, like, say there's a definitive winner because there ain't one. Like,
No.
we've got a ways to go, I think. The question is, what can Kazu pull out in the later stages once the lock delay hits?
Yoshimi with the Yoshihiro single double.
Yoshihiro is... I wish that setup were more viable in like a versus setting, but sadly
I'm
it's
trying
not
to make
as
it
good.
work. But,
That's valid.
yeah,
We need to bring back Tetris DS, where T-Spin
True.
minis. You know, that was the life.
True. Let's see it.
All right, and here we go. Gravity starting to hit, and Yoshimi still staying efficient. Kazu starting to struggle a little bit, on the other hand. Ooh, an awkward misdrop. And look at Yoshimi, level 26 and still going. She just needs to keep her composure. Level 27, you still have such a greedy ST stack. How are you managing this? How are you going to pull this off? I don't know, this looks so difficult for Kazu to come back from. It just
I
feels
think
over.
it might be a bit insurmountable at this point.
Yeah, like 200k
points.
is so much. And especially with Kazu sort of struggling in this high lock delay setting.
Yeah, that's gonna be it.
Yeah, there you go. Yoshimi with the first win for Team WIP. That's super impressive.
Is she gonna try to flex? I think she's trying to flex. Here we go. We're gonna see the 31. There it is.
Oh,
31.
there it is.
Not 32
super
today.
impressive. And there you have it. That's
like,
crazy.
That was 2 level 31s in a row. That was Yoshimi taking this match with stride.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't free, you know. Kazu did take, I'd say, a pretty well-deserved round, but, you know, it's a good look for teamwork in progress.
Yeah, definitely turned up at the end. So,
yeah,
it's going to be exciting. So, teamwork in progress going to be the first to choose if they're going to be the team or the boss. Sounds like we are...
It's time.
About to go. Yeah, here we go.
This is exciting. So, I think this is... I don't want to say it's a must-win for Team Japan yet, because, you know, it's first to 4, so we've got a ways to go. But it would, I think, be a very good look if they were able to come out with this one. So, let's see what happens.
Looks like these players are on their way in. So, very interesting lineup here. We got Kazu, obviously the Zone Battle Pro.
Yeah,
I've seen them definitely perform well and Connected as well. Zin, maybe just kind of like top 1 in Connected versus. I don't know, kind of average.
You know, yeah, pretty. You know, all right. You know,
yeah, maybe decent at the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're already in the first zone.
Oh, and look at the strategy here. Look at Kazu's board. Gonna just like get messy. Yeah, look at this, and it's all gonna resolve itself for the most part.
Yeah, there's ups and downs to kind of stacking up like that. Like obviously it cascades at the end of like when it starts the zone, but also like definitely leaves a messy board for Kazu. So
yeah,
down stack that. Use some magic Minos.
Yeah, and it does look, it might be tough to like downstack at this point, and this zone might be a little lackluster. But I do think the idea is very creative. And we'll have to see how big this zone can get.
We're at 13 wins already.
Right. 15's already not half bad. It is very
Looking
tough to sort of organize, like, in a connected way. Look at the board. It is so far upwards. And yeah, that's not a bad start.
Well, 3 lines on Chisukiya's side. And here we're going to see our first blitz. There's the pop in.
Yeah.
And yeah, these first few attacks are going to be very quick to charge. And yep, there's the rain. Yeah. And already some spires on every player's field.
Yeah.
So now it's
I love these little layout changes. But yeah, I think they're keeping it pretty clean for the most part. Like, oh, here's soft drop only.
It's time to no longer be able to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about soft drop as opposed to no rotate is at least you get to play the game a little, you know? Like, you play it slow and you might not play it as much, but like, you're still playing it at least, instead of I sit here and wait.
There's a few blitzes like that. And yep, oh, there's combination pop out and soft drop, so they have to like down stack a messy board while only soft dropping. It's gonna give Chisukiya a lot of time to either defend, get those white garbage lines out of here. Oh, and
I'll say their zone is just about ready though, so all these attacks are gonna prove moot.
Something to keep in mind here with when you're playing in Connect and subsequently Connected Versus, every time you enter the zone, it gets stronger.
Yeah.
So this one is going to be a little stronger than the previous one, and it's going to ramp up fast, but it also gives time for the boss attacks to get a lot stronger as well. So it's kind of balanced. You don't want to go into the zone too much and rely on the bonus, because then the boss gets a bonus as well.
I think it just makes a lot of sense to balance it that way. Like, you need the game to end eventually, and as we saw with some of the showcase matches, I remember Dormy's Virgo, which lived for 1,000,000 years.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Before
Dormy's
finally
Virgo
falling.
is,
Yeah.
it's certainly
It's crazy.
A place to hold.
But yeah, like, the good news is Chisukiya is still doing totally fine, it looks like. And it looks like they are probably gonna just sort of focus more on sending out those quick attacks and charging those up. And you know, it makes sense. Like, there's no imminent need to defend unless you need that extra little bit of space to work with. And when you put your foot off the gas, you know, it just gives the other team an opportunity.
Certainly.
So yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense.
It's kind of pouring on with these blitzes.
Yeah. And some of these boards are looking pretty tough. I see Suki is struggling a little bit just because these attacks are so brutal. Ooh, and that bump.
Oh. Still barely alive, which I don't know how long that's going to last. Oh, the rain is going to be tough. Oh, Kazu the first go.
Kazu the first one to go, yeah, and this is difficult here for Team Japan. But gonna be working on that revive. Zin's board looks somewhat playable still, which is good for Team Japan. Oh, but this is starting to look dangerous.
For Suki. Now, in normal circumstances...
Oh, Kazu's almost back.
Yeah. You can revive your teammates, or you can revive yourself by clapping to the beat with the rotate button. But that requires your teammate to survive, and this is a very spiry board for Zin.
Yeah, this is very spooky, but Kazu is back. Whew.
Oh, and
that
Zin
was
gonna
close.
pop out
Immediately,
right
yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh, and Kazu already worked to revive the teammates with T-spins.
Yeah, and
Did we get those
Suki
powerful
already
moves?
back now. So
And
Team
look-
Japan once again in a pretty good spot, I'd say.
Looks like we're most likely going to have a 2-player zone here. So,
It's possible that they can wait out long enough to get Xin back.
But Kazu already halfway aboard. Might want to initiate zone.
Oh, Xin is so close. I think they're gonna wait. I think they want the full.
Oh
full
yeah,
there.
look at that.
And here we go. Three players of 5. Oh, they need to start it though. Oh, this is scaring me. Okay, whew. They got there. They got there eventually. And now it's go time, right? Like, this is the chance to start to put Shiskia on sort of the back foot. That was really scary for Team Japan, but able to stay alive for a little bit. And yeah, let's see what they can do with this attack.
Definitely an excellent display of teamwork there. You gotta have when it comes to this kind of mode.
Yeah. Oh, I see
We're already at
17 already.
Looks like a clean 18 gonna pop out here.
Yeah.
And I was gonna have Shiskia. Oh, that's a big chunk of garbage.
And even if, you know, it doesn't spell the end now, like in the long term, if Shiskia has to sort of focus on defense, it's gonna be really tough to sort of get anything going. So we'll see what they can bring. But yeah, still playing offense, which I think makes a lot of sense, right? Like, give it your all until you have to stop. Because if you like give your opponents too much to work with, like too much time to sort of just build up for free, then then it's just over for the zone. What's it called? The single player, the boss. So I understand this decision to like go for more pressure, but it is scary and it is difficult.
It's certainly scary, especially with how messy the board's getting. But speaking of messy boards, I'm looking at the team. See a lot of eye dependencies on everyone's board.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some mess on a lot of the boards, but none of them are super high yet, and they're already a good portion of the way through this zone. So I think they may be able to survive. Ooh, that pop in might be difficult.
Is getting very aggressive here. Oh, maybe a little too aggressive.
Uh-oh. Oh,
That's
no.
gonna be it.
And they just top out. That's a very important win for Team Japan. And that is a really tragic way to end for Shiskia.
Yeah, very unfortunate outcome, but hey, definitely very well.
That was still so close, right? I'm like literally a millisecond away from Xin dying, right? And before Kazu was able to get revived, so that was crazy. And now we're all tied up.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see what boss Team Japan chooses and also who they send out,
Yeah.
to fight. So
I am kind of curious how this is gonna go.
I'm excited, yeah.
I think there's a few great contenders for who could be the boss.
I mean, I feel like all the players are superb, right? So it's hard to it's hard to pinpoint someone.
Here we go, Kazu with Capricorn.
That's true. Capricorn. Which one was Capricorn again?
The funny pieces.
Funny pieces. I love funny pieces. That's all you had to say, and I'm on board. It's that easy.
Heck yeah. They're funny pieces.
I love funny pieces.
Shout out
to looks like they're putting in Kazu. I didn't know that they could put in what's it called? Back to back Kazu for like the single player, I guess. But
yeah, it's gonna be 1v1. You can't be the same in 1v1 or teams, but
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone gets a chance at one, I guess. Right. That makes a lot of sense. And yeah, Kazu just gonna get going here. Already moving through. It's so scary. And let's see how this zone ends up. I see a very high sort of spike in a Sayonara's field.
Luckily that only goes to row 19, so they can still move.
Yeah, they can still build around it. As long as they don't misdrop on top of it, they'll be fine. And look at this 16 zone already. 17 here. And this field looks very workable for being this high. Oh, almost a 19 even, but
very fast 18. There's 5 lines of garbage, which is actually pretty good for a first zone.
Yep. And yeah, Kazu already just like speeding through these lines. A little misdrop might be annoying to deal with.
There's the Pentaminos. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Oh my goodness. There are some players who are like very good at Pentamino, right? Like,
yeah.
I think Tetrian comes to mind. Does that name ring a bell? Or is that before your time?
Oh, I know Tetrian.
I don't know.
I am very familiar with Tetrian.
Yeah, I don't know who knows who, you know. I feel like I've been around for so long. Oh my goodness, look at these fields. Like, what do you even do against this? It's just so difficult to play around. They're gonna have to sort of downstack here, and it definitely does not look easy. I think Chiskia with the best field right now, and their zone is pretty close to being charged, which is a big upside.
Yeah. About 75%. Well, they're mostly through it, but they're gonna have to deal with some pentos. And...
yeah.
Oh, but Sayonara, actually very clean.
I know, did you see those pentos? That was a very nice set of pentos.
Oh yeah, another thing about these Area 4 bosses, they're one of the abilities that all three bosses have is, like, they call it high stakes, which is basically, it drops a bunch of eye pieces on the board, like you just saw there.
Yeah. That one looks so terrible to deal with as well.
It is brutal. Already at 17 lines. It's barely been a few seconds. Like, they haven't even get through a quarter of the zone and it's already done.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my!
Kazu's alive though.
Kazu is barely living.
Gonna switch to defense mode maybe?
No,
Gosh,
still being aggressive.
So high. I guess I understand, you know, where this is coming from. Okay, here we go. A little bit of defense now from Kazu. But
it looks like these players are gonna stall out the
broken pieces, which I think makes a lot of sense. But
Kazu misdropping a bit.
Misdrop.
This could be fatal, but
no, has a way out.
Yeah, we see some survival.
Gonna be fine. Gonna be fine. Barely. Yeah.
And now there's a lot more breathing room for Kazu. So
yes. And yeah, I think it's just gonna go right back into the offense, which I think makes a lot of sense here. Like, this is sort of the opportunity to sort of send those strong boss attacks and sort of punish the three-player squadron. Let's see what Kazu can bring to the table on that front. All right, Pentamino. For a little bit, but. Oh, Kazu once again in defense mode.
Kazu might have to be a little bit worried because we're about
I know, we're about to get to the next zone.
To the zone.
It's gonna be tough for Kazu to get out of this, I think. Like, I understand the will to like be defensive, right? Because you don't want to die, but at this point, like, if you get sent another zone of any kind, it feels like it's just over, and this zone is about to get hit. Like. It's about time.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's go time.
There's the full charge. This might
Someone has to pop the zone, right? Like.
No, it goes automatically.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like, it's a bit of a delay before it starts, but then it'll go automatically. Whoa, Kazu blocking out, like placing a piece above row 20, and
dang.
I'll kill anyone.
I mean, it happens to the best of us. And, you know, here we are. Dang. And yeah, 2-1 for Team WIP.
Yeah, how these players are going to play. This will be very interesting to see. I don't think Sayonara touches the mode. From what I'm seeing in chat, Sayonara has not played in ranked for score attack. But...
It's okay, neither have I. There's no shame.
Understandable. If you have a preference for a mode, I don't blame you for playing that mode.
I mean, it makes sense, yeah. Like, just do what you like. Ooh, looks like we're gonna get our first non-20 start today. Maybe.
Potentially.
Still deciding, though. You know, I lied. Oh, wait, I was right?
Oh.
Sayonara's really got me
Here we
going.
go.
Oh, okay. Whew. I would never lie to the people, of course.
No, never.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. So I think Suki was in the Ballista bracket for this mode, if I remember correctly. So that does suggest, some level of experience with it.
For sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think we'll just have to see how this plays out. It's looking pretty close already to start off.
And both these
Yeah, I
players, well, I guess maybe not
Oh, go
both
for
these players, but Sayo going for a bit of a center well here, which is definitely tougher to do in score attack, just due to how gravity works. You can't really get pieces over to the left or right.
Yeah, it does seem a little awkward. I think right now both players are just trying to kind of figure out how does this gravity work? Like, what am I dealing with here?
Yeah.
But, yeah, let's see. Let's see what they can come up with. It looks like Suki is kind of just sticking to Tetrises at this point. Never mind. I say that and instantly gonna sort of go for a T-spin, but... Yeah, it's very interesting to see, like, the sort of freestyle score attack.
I think it's very fun to go for freestyle.
Yeah, I just love freestyle in general. I'm very biased. Just because, I don't know, I think you can come up with so much sick stuff and so many cool ideas in a setting like that. That, like, I'm excited to see what comes out of this, but... at the end of the day, it's about who gets the most points. And Suki's got to pull this one out for Japan to get a potential tiebreaker. I mean, unless Japan wins both of the boss battles, but
Which that could be very tough. Like, we've seen...
That does seem tough. Yeah, I mean, aren't Area 1 and 4 like the best bosses, supposedly? So it's like... So now what,
Like... And especially seeing how well these teams have been, like, working together. Like... You're most likely not going to really see a boss win. But we could be surprised.
We could be proven wrong, so who knows?
Suki with maybe like a semblance of ST.
Yeah, I was gonna say this looks like ST stacking, right? Like, my eyes don't deceive me, do they?
They do not. This looks like honest to goodness ST. What is this?
Yeah, this is ST stacking. I'm not crazy. There it is. One thing I notice is I think that Sayonara already has like a pretty significant like line clear advantage, which shouldn't play like a super significant role, most likely, but I do know that after one person tops out, there is, I believe, a 2-minute timer for the other person to finish. So, if the pace is like still very slow or fairly slow out of Suki, it's possible that they run out of time. But I don't want to get too presumptuous. Like, I haven't seen that play a role yet in any one of these matches. So
certainly,
it's definitely not your everyday thing. But Sayonara, I feel, just has a very big lead and is just looking very clean right now. Ooh, Suki with a bit of an awkward misdrop, and yeah, gonna have to skim out of that as well now.
Unfortunately, cannot make a T-spin out of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
would be cool.
Society.
But... Yeah. And yeah, Sayonara I don't think this is really full ST stacking, but it's definitely similar, and it's just very, very efficient on their side compared to Suki.
Well, it actually looks like Suki's kind of speeding up here.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to see what Suki plans to sort of achieve by doing that. I'm a little curious, but... I mean, there's definitely a reason. There's gotta be. It could also just be nerves, like sometimes when you're nervous, the first instinct is just go fast.
Yeah.
You know, seeing, oh no, I'm 300k down. You know, that might be a reason to kind of speed up.
Getting a few teaspoons zeros here. This is basically just free points.
Yeah. Definitely I think starting to grow in the efficiency department. But Sayonara is just looking super duper efficient in comparison right now. And it looks tough for Suki to sort of get much started here. Alright, does seem to, you know, have a possible T-spin there on the right side though, on Suki's side, where Sayonara is kind of dealing with a couple of sort of like things that need to be cleaned up.
We are reaching the speed levels where pieces are going to drop instantly, so I wonder how these players are going to handle that.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited to see that too. I wonder how experienced they are with high gravity. If Suki is a sort of a classic player, you know, it's possible they have a meaningful advantage in a situation like that. But, you know, we'll have to see, I guess. We'll have to see what they can pull out.
Alright.
And yeah, it feels like so hard for Suki to make any sort of meaningful headway either. Like, it's still 400,000 points, which is like, that's a lot of points. I don't know. I'm no expert, but 400k, big number.
That is a decent lead. You are not wrong there.
And I think Suki trying to get a little more greedy, going for a fractal here, just trying to, you know, remain efficient. But yeah, another awkward sort of hole in the stack.
Where is the T-piece? That was a very long delay for a T-piece there.
Yeah, I know. And this does have 7 bags, so, you know, it's not something you see all the time, but it can be up to, I think, 12 pieces between T-pieces.
I believe so.
So I guess, like, number 1 and number 13. So it's, I guess, just got unlucky there. Which, I mean, it happens. It happens to the best of us. And yeah, now we're starting to get into the zone shenanigans, you know? Even though it's not zone and it's gravity, and I keep saying zone, but same thing. But yeah, it just feels like Sayonara is just running away with it a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this lead hasn't really changed, but like just with the way that this mode works, since there's like so few lines left before it gets to impossible gravity, Sayonara's lead is actually growing a lot bigger.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's a lot harder to come back with much
less,
fewer lines.
Yeah. Exactly. And yeah, this is where the delay is going to start to kick in for Sayonara. So level 27 already, which is very impressive, especially for someone with like little to no experience in the mode. But it's about to hit 28 as well. Let's see if they can crank out a 30 or even more.
I don't know if Sion has cleared Master before, but they are definitely fast in the sense of, like they're a fast modern player. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But it looks like Gravity's getting a bit out of control there. That level 29 is a little too fast. Oh.
Yeah, and Suki is struggling here as well. This is looking tough. I mean, probably down stack a bowl, but you don't have a lot of time to think, and you just gotta go fast, like Sonic. Oh no! That is a sad misdrop. Oh my god, really?
Let's go!
Little Imperial Cross Spice. I see you.
I love it.
A little bit of that self-expression there in the Tetris. And that is gonna be, though, a game win for Sayonara.
Yeah.
So let's see what Suki is gonna opt for in this second game in the speed department.
Ooh, choosing level 10 here.
Ooh, interesting. So this feels a lot more, you know, manageable. This is also, I think, a lot more reminiscent of sort of classic Tetris, where instead of like instant gravity, it's more of like a situation where it's really fast gravity, and then I know here it's no instant lock like classic, but this is probably more familiar territory for Suki.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like maybe not quite the same kind of fast as classic per se.
It's definitely different, but it's probably more like close to classic maybe, in just how the gravity works. I don't know. It's hard to explain, I guess.
No, I gotcha. Oh, I think Suki wanted that Imperial Cross again.
Yeah. I love everyone sort of getting a little spicy with it and thinking out of the box. Oh, that's a TST.
Oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Or C-spin even. Oh no, gonna have to cancel out, but I love me some C-spins and some TST ideas, you know? Like
C-spins are awesome.
Oh, this is a TST. Or it's like an unfinished one. Yeah. Oh, STSD conversion.
Wait a minute.
No, that I'm hoping so much. No. No, either way, it's still super cool to see all those different freestyle ideas from both of these SIG players. Ooh, that's a misdrop, I think, from Suki. Wanted the donation.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, it definitely is, like, another thing of about this is, like, it might be, like, a whole nother level of pressure for Suki. I don't know how often they sort of enter tournaments or stuff, but I don't know. I just get the vibe that they're a little nervous, which, you know, is fair. You know, we're in front of a fairly big audience, you know, scary stuff.
Yeah, completely understandable.
I get it. Yeah. All right. So another very big starting lead for Sayonara. Yeah, this is going to be, I don't know, I think it's going to be difficult for Suki to overcome that lead. Like, Sayonara already over doubled the score. So maybe this sort of level 10 idea that Suki had just might not be paying off.
Well, who knows? We've still got a ways to go. Like, a 20-line discrepancy in Suki's favor.
That is very true.
There's a lot of room to make up space.
That's very true.
Okay. Are you gonna see it?
ST?
I guess not.
Oh, interesting. You see all these interesting ideas. Oh, I love that donation.
Yeah, that was clean.
I mean, I think it was actually messy, but, you know, same thing. It was clean in the sense that it was cool. Yeah, I know what you mean. Just being pedantic and annoying, you know, doing what I do best.
Respect.
Ooh, look at this field from Suki with like 2 eye dependencies. It looks very awkward. Gonna fix it, but it's gonna take some skimming. And look at this. Oh, it's creeping up onto a 40-line discrepancy here. Okay, as I say that, Suki clears the Tetris and makes it 30, but you know, the line
kind of modern Tetris thing where, like, you can't really say one thing without it just instantly changing to, like, in a second.
I mean, yeah, it's commentator's curse, right? Like, it happens to everyone. All right, and now both of them starting to reach higher speeds. Nothing like decisive yet. If you're a very talented score attack player, but I would not be surprised, you know, with these being a little less familiar with the mode, that it might cause a dip in efficiency. But yeah, I think we'll have to see whether Suki can make back these 400k.
Yeah. She's just opting to speed through it. Just wants to get it done with.
Yeah, which is fair, you know, like,
They mentioned
if you feel comfortable at the speed, like, go for it.
Yeah. They mentioned chat now they're not really too fond of score attacks, so they might just want to be done.
Yeah. It's totally fair.
Right. But this is already looking like a monstrous lead, 522,000 points.
I know, it looks so difficult for Suki to, like, overcome everything. I mean, we'll have to see what happens.
Holding their own. Yeah. Cannot count Suki out quite yet.
Definitely not. But at the same time, it's very difficult, I feel, to make back this much of a difference. And that misdrop also just gonna, you know, make another sort of forced misdrop happen.
Maybe no Kaidan quite yet. Yeah. Yeah, getting a little bit high up on the board, so maybe a Kaidan isn't the wise decision. And get awareness from Suki here.
Yeah, this lead, it just feels like it's only growing and growing. I mean, again, there is a 50 line discrepancy, so, you know, it's definitely not over by any means. Don't want us to jump to premature conclusions, but 600k points is a lot of points. In fact, it's more than Suki has right now. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, gonna have to double up on the points here to save this point for Team Japan. We'll have to see what happens.
So, since we're leveling up, we are going to see like the amount of points you get per clear increase. So, you could see that come into play. Like, I mean, Sayonara already at level 24, so that could contribute to why this lead is growing so quickly. And not to mention just playing generally faster.
Yep. But then also at the same time, like, Suki, it's just feeling really difficult for Suki to kind of get any super efficient clears done.
Yeah.
And the gravity is only going to get stronger, right? Like, it's only going to be harder after this.
Sure.
So it just feels like very difficult for them to come back.
Another thing to consider is the 2-minute timer, which could come into play very soon.
Yeah, this is really like the first game where it's like, wow, this might actually matter.
So already at level 28. We saw them kind of get knocked out at level 29, so kind of nearing Styles' demise.
Very impressed by their sort of like endurance on these high speeds. Okay, here we go. It's timer time. No pressure, Suki, but you got a minute 47 to make up 700k. Not an easy task, but not impossible either.
It's a possible task, but it's going to require a lot of efficiency and a lot of speed.
Oh yeah, and especially on level 24, that is just going to become harder and harder.
Ooh, I had to bail out of the T-spin.
Ooh, a little awkward here. Oh no. And this is just going to make things even harder.
Now, with these master levels, you can kind of see a snowball effect happen at some point, because you start to lose control of your pieces, and what would usually be 1 drop turns into 5, and you have to recover from a much messier field if you want any sort of chance to survive.
Yeah. And also 40 seconds on the clock now, and speed level 26, like, it's feeling like this is kind of nearing a close.
There's the 1,000,000 points, though.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Not an easy score at all, and a big Tetris as well, but it looks like this is just about gonna finish this thing up. And
Yeah.
Sayonara gonna come away with the win for Team Work in Progress. Now up 3-1 on Team Japan.
Yeah, this is actually a match point.
Yeah, which is crazy. At least Japan will get another chance to prove themselves in the team aspect, or at least in the, I guess, in the connected versus. So, and maybe, maybe Zin's got a crazy boss up their sleeve. How do we know,
Yeah. I mean, Zen is top 1 in the mode for a reason.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it could definitely happen. I would not be surprised. Yeah, and 3-1 now for Team Work in Progress. It's a good look. Japan gonna have to win 3 in a row to bring this one back. It's not easy, but anything's possible.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think Team Japan has it in them. Like,
yeah, I'm optimistic.
I want to see Tetris.
Me too.
That's all my brain is on now.
Jen said we were patiently waiting. That was a lie. I'm very much not patiently waiting for this one. Free games, free things, all can be yours if you get lucky and win the giveaway by typing connected. But here we go.
It was Sayonara already going crazy.
Yeah.
And as we can see in these fields, there's already holes in the stack just because of the.
I think that's intentional, though. Yeah. Where I think they're gonna just try and pop zone. Yeah. And here we go.
Zone is. Yeah, with connected versus, you're usually going to see a zone within the first few seconds. That's just the nature of how our zone works.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense, because otherwise there's just like a full phase where the boss can just send attacks with no worries at all. And even one attack will pretty much never kill, right? So.
Really depends. Like, you can catch a boss off guard by doing a really fast zone. And only
that is true.
But look at that, 6 rows of garbage.
Yeah, is, that's meaningful for the start of this game. And gonna opt to play defense a little bit, which is very interesting. I don't know if I would have expected this, but that makes for long games. The one downside, I guess, is that it lets Team Work in Progress build up with pretty much no consequence.
Yeah, that's for sure. I wonder if we're going to see some aggression come out soon.
Yeah, I mean, especially now with only one line of garbage on the board.
Oh, but it's still too late now because the zone is fully charged and they're about to go connected.
Yeah, here we go.
Or I'll say Kazu's board is a bit, few holes, few spires, few dependencies. Choose your buzzword of the day.
Yep. But gonna get fixed up. I saw the whole team kind of finding pieces to bring over to Kazu's side and help clean up those holes. Alright, 16 already on the board. 17 now. 18, I think?
There it is. And maybe we can even see 19. Their board is high enough. 19
feels so difficult. Oh my goodness. That's a huge attack. Big 153 sent to the boss.
About halfway up the board now. And
it's not not a huge deal. They still have the space to work with. Crisis averted, but and now gonna opt for offense, which I think makes a lot of sense. You can't just defend forever, otherwise you will lose eventually.
Wait, what? How did they already charge zone?
I'm also shocked. I don't know how they did that. Kazu's just different, I guess. What can we say?
How did that happen? I have never seen a zone charge that fast.
That was the 3rd zone too. Like,
that was the 3rd zone.
This is like incredible. Oh my goodness.
Oh, especially with that missed T-spin.
And yeah, Sayo full on defense mode. I mean, as you have to be, obviously, when the opponents are attacking.
Literally invincible.
And yeah, that's looking like it's gonna be it here. I could be wrong.
That is not livable.
Okay, that's it. And honestly, after that first round from Team Japan, I thought I was not confident that they would win this, but they made it look easy. And yeah, Sayonara swept off their feet.
That's actually good to know information. Like, if you don't send blitzes as the boss, the zone will actually end up charging a lot faster.
Yeah.
So that was actually intended. That is a normal thing. No glitches here.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah. I don't think like defense is a good strategy, but I was really surprised to see such an early defense from Sayonara, and I think that might have cost them as well, just because it gave the Team Japan so much opportunity to just put the pedal to the metal.
But it looks like we do have a choice already, and it is going to be Zin as the boss. I'm surprised there, and it's going to be Ares, which is cheap, right? Ooh. Yeah. And the sheep that inverts your board.
Interesting. Invert in like what way?
Empty cells become full cells. Full cells become empty.
Oh, okay.
In certain areas.
Interesting. All right, yeah, I'm excited to see this in action.
This is most likely going to be
a must-win for Zin, right? So
yeah. But I will say
it all comes down to this.
Zin being Zin, very skilled, and this is going to be very challenging for Team Work in Progress.
Yeah. It's not easy by any means.
Yeah, some people are mentioning in chat as well. We have the spin blitz, which basically kind of spins the rows in your board at random.
Mm.
And then you also have next queue at some points.
Yeah. And I don't think no next is that bad. Given the other terrible things that can happen to your board, but
I think no next is a little better than no hold to deal with.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now I see invert in action. There's the rows like kind of inverting, emptying the full cells, but it's not going to be too much of an effect, especially since we're already going to the zone.
And Zin looks to be maybe defending preliminarily, but they are in defense mode. Which, I don't know if, all stage 3 bosses are supposed to be played like Dorami's Virgo, but I'm curious to see how this sort of first attack is going to go, and what sort of attacks Zin is going to be able to send towards Team Work in Progress.
Now we're at 18 lines. And yeah, that was a fast zone.
Yeah.
That's the highest attack I've seen. Like, well, the highest on the board. For the first zone, I should say. I gotta be specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, now these inverts are gonna be a lot tougher to deal with.
Yeah, and I think an invert's probably charging right now.
No next invert. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, there it is.
And there's so little material, and it's all scattered around the board.
Yeah, it does seem really difficult to deal with, but the good thing for the 3 players is that once you hit the zone, like, it doesn't matter how messy your field is, you are safe.
Yeah, you won't get hit by blitzes when you're about to enter the zone.
Yeah. And yeah, Zin really doing their best to pump out as many lines as possible here, and just keeping up this aggression. I think it makes a lot of sense. Like, you want to make your opponent's life kind of a living hell, right? You want to send as much as you can, make things as difficult as possible. And I mean, their fields are pretty difficult. Gotta give it to Zin. Like, they're doing a good job.
Yeah. I will note something very interesting about this team, especially Sayonara. They're actually part of the first team ever to clear Maniac Area 5 with a single death.
Wow.
Like, no deaths in any other team.
That's pretty impressive.
I'll see SG Ferox, also a part of that team, so very skilled and connected as well.
Yeah, SG Ferox is a monster, and played him at WPL. It was not pretty. I'll say that much.
I did not say that, Ferox. I said without a single death.
Yeah. Alright, Zin pushed up very high here, but yeah, gonna focus on defense, it looks like.
Might actually opt to get aggressive. Because
yeah, which is fair.
Like, if you keep inverting this other team's field, maybe I'm just bad at talking.
I heard death, or like, without one death.
Alright, so, okay.
So, I think you did it right.
Anyway.
Twitch chat's wrong, as usual.
Yeah, SMH Twitch chat. I'll always blame you. No, we love you.
Yeah, we're actually very thankful that you're here and hanging out and watching sick Tetris with us.
I do appreciate everyone here. As much flack as I get from them.
You know, they're not half bad. Alright, and this zone looking to be halfway charged, but Shiskia right at the top of the board, so I don't know if this is going to get fixed in time. This is sort of Zin's opportunity, I think. Let's see if they can capitalize.
Oh, just barely living, but has a monster down stack ahead of them. And that can all change with a single invert, which is going to happen right now. Oh, bump up invert. That's
bump up invert. That's the end for Shiskia, but let's see whether the team can clutch up and come through. Looks like Zin also going to use this opportunity to get a better board position, a little lower down. Never mind, out of defense mode already. And yeah, this revive is coming through fairly fast, I will say.
There is some back-to-back coming out from these players.
Yeah.
Well, it's like T-spins and Tetris. I shouldn't say back-to-back. There actually is no back-to-back in this mode.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Just because, like, it lets the boss be a little more freestyle, and at the same time, it lets like the players not have to, like, there's no way you can maintain back-to-back as the 3. Like, no way ever.
That's interesting. I had no idea that. I thought I just confirmed that there was no back-to-back.
I believed you. I don't know. I didn't believe in
a
the back-to-back world.
But what I am not misinformed about is the fact that Shiskia is back and we're in the zone. So this could be.
This could be game. We'll have to see how Zin gets to the bottom of this board.
Zin was able to use defense. Like during the attack phase,
still alive. So it's gonna take a little bit for a zone to charge, I believe. So definitely still an opportunity available. Gonna go into defense mode, which, I mean, given that you have 4 lines of board to work with, makes perfect sense.
They're still keeping up a little bit of attack here, like staying in, like alternating offense and defense. That's a good way to. Like, keep up the pressure while not instantly dying.
Yeah. Especially because, like, every attack you send is also a slowdown for the enemy team, right? It's definitely, like, a back and forth thing. And, like, again, Shiskia's board is not looking easy to work with. Oh, no!
That doesn't help that Zin's gonna top out.
Yeah, and a win for Teamwork in Progress.
Look at that.
Dang.
I think a very impressive turnaround there.
Yeah, it's
able
crazy.
To survive against Zin, which is it's a very commendable feat.
It's definitely not an easy win, but I feel like Zin also played his heart out, as did the rest of Team Japan. So much love and support goes to them.
Absolutely. They played incredibly. Actually a really cool set to watch.
It was. And, you know, we got 2 more. We're just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
We got Team Doramito versus Kirby 703 Fan Club coming up, which is exciting.
Well, very cool players in every team.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's cracked.